Hello, everyone. Welcome to another broadcast of Find Ways to Win. I am your host, Fitzgerald Stevens. Certainly appreciate you guys taking time to tune in. We thank you, and we definitely appreciate each and every one of you who are subscribers, who are even the listeners. Ask that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Just wanted to talk to you guys about a couple things. As far as a changed outlook of how you're looking at things to put yourself in a better position and to accomplish some of the things you want. One of the main steps you want to often look at and consider is life is not fair. Don't expect it to be. Life is not fair. Don't expect it to be. I hear that word fair so much, and it's an admirable word. It's a great word. It's a healing word. And my philosophy is that things can be fair among good friends, maybe even in the individual households. Fair, that would have a good place right there. But I'm learning that for the most part, outside the house or outside a very, very close bonded circle, don't expect people to treat you fairly. Don't expect life just to be fair. Some people do use their talents to the benefit more so than others. Some people do get the breaks that they create. Some people have bad things happen to them, although they're good people, and sometimes good things happen to bad people. I don't know the rhyme or the reason. That used to really perturb me a lot before I really understood the concept of what truly fairness is and how it worked. Sometimes there is a delayed a reaction as far as with fairness actually being realized. But I suggest if you really want to move forward with your life and you really want to start achieving some of the things where you're trying to go, you're going to have to get to the concept, okay, life is going to be tough. I'm going to tell you that. Life is going to be tough. Life is going to be tough for you, even if you're a billionaire or you're a pauper. Things happen in this life. You have got to be an individual who knows how to make adjustments. My middle brother has told me often, you have to give yourself time for things that could go wrong. It's not a fatalistic mindset. It's a preparation mindset. Sometimes things do take more time than what you actually thought they would. Sometimes things do take more resources than what you have allocated. Sometimes you can have the proposal right, and it can go to someone with seemingly a lesser proposal than you. Sometimes you don't get to take the guy or the girl home. Sometimes you don't get that promotion, that increase. It goes to someone other than you. And if you have a tendency in your mind to believe that the word fair is really a dominating principle in your life, you're going to be solely disappointed. Let me tell you what, if you think everything is supposed to be fair, you're going to be on an emotional roller coaster. You're going to be up and down, and you're going to be complex, and you're going to be confused, and you're going to be in a perpetual state of frustration. Because you're going to think like, wow, according to this, and according to what I see, things should have worked out better than what they are currently doing. We we marched down the aisle, husband and wife, and was deaf due to part, and now all of a sudden, we're getting divorced. We started this great company with great potential, and something happened, and all of a sudden that company is on a tinker of going under, even has went under. We thought that we was going to engage on this ambitious project. We did the market research. We had the people in place. We had the capital. We had all these things, but just just something like maybe a COVID happened and we were forced to close with no cause, no reason, with no rhyme or reason our own. Totally unpredicted, totally unexpected. Life is not fair. The thing what you want to try, the thing what you want to get into your heart and into your spirit, you repeat these words: I am adaptable. I am adaptable. I can figure out other ways. I don't have to be locked in one way or the only way. You have to you have to know and have contingency plans, and have them ready to and available to use if the circumstances does not go the way you have planned. You have to survive, and I submit to you, more so than surviving, you still want to thrive. I've often said on this channel, the goal may not change. The goal is not to change. What you want to do is consider possibly changing the methods. Possibly changing the methods of achieving that. Now, I'm a firm believer of doing right because it is right, and I'm a firm reap what you sow. What you give out, God Almighty will cause to give back to you. That's just the way He engineered His universe. So I don't believe that you have to win with any means necessary. I don't believe you have to be conniving and cutthroat and everything like that. You in business, you have to be shrewd. You have to be smart. You have to have great emotional intelligence. You have to have market research. You have to have customer research. You have to know what you have financial liquidity. You have to have reserves. You have to have a good team, good people, and you must have a very good sales department to keep bringing the revenue in. Yeah, but what happens if some of those components are compromised and you actually find yourself in a quagmire that something happened, maybe a key personnel left or a key account left that you didn't anticipate, and it's throwing your whole business in disarray. What happens if a loved one leaves? What happens if someone be with you all of a sudden decide they don't want to be with you, and you had all these plans, and you had all these dreams, and you saw yourself in a certain moment, but that's not to be now. What if you want to be a parent and for some reason it has not happened, and you don't get a chance to take your son and daughter to school, or pick them up on a bus, or play catch with them. You just, for some reason, that didn't happen for you, even though you see it happening to people all around you. Life is not fair, but do you let the unfairness of life, and that would have been a better title, do you let the unfairness of life subjugate you, demotivate you, defeat you? It's going to rain on the just and unjust. Even successful people, as I alluded to earlier, are going to have problems. You have it to be adaptable. You have it to overcome things that were not planned, or you didn't foresee them happening, even though you could be a great planner. Get ready for that. That is normal, and you have to expect it. Life is not fair. Don't expect it. You have to expect the problems. You have to expect the challenges. You have to expect things, that don't necessarily pan out exactly the way you saw it or you seen it. It don't mean that it's not going to eventually work out. But you know what? You have to cause things to work out. I'm a big believer, and I promote a lot about having massive action in order to achieve your goals. Or how are you when disappointment comes? Are you a person who sulks? Are you a person who quits? Are you a person who gets the wind knocked out of your sails, and you just lie there on the mat, and even though time is still counting, are you a person that has endured so much failures and setbacks that you're actually afraid to compete again? I've had to struggle with all those, and I had to really seek to overcome that. Man, I know what it is for life to send you some crushing blows and knock you on your sales. And I know what it is to for you to for doubt everything you practically believed in, and doubt your ability, and doubt your intelligence, and doubt your education, and doubt if you have it what it takes. But I've learned something. Eventually, you're going to get up in the ring and fight again. You're going to have to get in the ring, because laying there, no one rewards you for that. I mean, sure, you can if you have a support system, they can encourage you to get up. They can sometimes even help you up, but it is your responsibility to stay up. You gotta say, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I do to find a way to win in this? And okay, I suffered a defeat. I suffered a major setback. I suffered a horrendous blow. Okay, all right. What can I learn from it? How can I get back in the saddle just as fast as I can and re-engage on the way to win my goal? Okay, this didn't happen. I'm alone now, or COVID happened and I got shut down, or I had to have a bone marrow transplant, or someone left and who I thought would have been there, and all stuff like that. And I'm talking to you guys from personal experience right now. And seek out whatever therapy you need, seek out whatever motivation you need, seek out whatever friendship you need to get your butt back on track, because you must engage. You got to get back in the saddle. Okay, you didn't get that job you wanted. Okay, you got passed over to that promotion. Maybe it's time for you to strike out on your own. I remember making a prayer one time, say, God, I want my own business, and I want to be in control of my own destiny. I want to be an employer, set employee. You know what started happening? All of a sudden, my hours at a job I had started getting cut. And you know what? And if I wanted to make it happen, I had to go out there and make up the deficit. I had to work my network marketing company. I had to work my other businesses. I had to work, but go out there and sell something to bring revenue in to make up for that deficit. Because, I assure you, the bill collectors and the mortgage and the rent and the car and the insurance and the food and all those things that need to be paid, they're not concerned. They're not really concerned about those issues that's going on. They're not really concerned about what's happening with your life. In this world has but one question, and one question for you only. And I could do a show about that, and I possibly will do this. But they have but one question in this world. No matter what country you're in, no matter where you are on God's earth, this is the one question they have for you, and it's every day, all day. Do you have the money or do you not? Do you have the money or do you not? Okay, that's what it comes down to. Do you have the success or do you not? Do you have the ability to rock and roll, or do you have the ability, are you one of the persons who are getting rocked and roll? That's what it comes to. There are winners and there are losers. Ladies and gentlemen, I hear this statement, and I've heard it as well as you've heard it. It's not whether you win and lose, it's how you play the game. Please don't teach your children that. Please don't let that be a constitution of your life. Because let me tell you what that does. That statement right there has a tendency to cause you to do half-step measures. That statement right there has a tendency, to cause you not to fully engage, because you're not fully invested. After all, if I win, I lose. If I win, at least I played the game. Let me know how that works out for individuals you saw. There are winners and losers. Sometimes if you don't, often rather, if you don't close the deal, you don't eat. If you go and grab a key account, that company goes out of business. If you don't keep a key account or key personnel, that company is highly jeopardized. If you don't get in there and go to that gym and exercise your body and do your cardio, and you don't take your mental health, you are going to be in great duress. If you don't take care of your body, okay, get ready to suck on a lot of pills and get ready to have low energy, get ready to have a lot of depression and things like that. Get ready to do that. If you don't take care of your communication skills with your significant other, okay, get ready to start facing separation. And sometimes you can be taking care of those things and still go through separation or divorce. Sometimes things happen to you that you have done everything that you can do, and yet it still falls apart. Now, hear me very, very well with this statement. Just because you failed does not make you a failure. Just because you failed does not make you a failure. In the country I am right here, the United States of America, where I was born, where I was raised, I grew up in the Southeast Alabama to be exactly. So I'm a small town Southern man. Grew up in a very, very small village. But it doesn't make a difference where you come from. See, it's what's in here. It's what's in the heart. That's why often you hear about C students own the companies that A and B students want to apply for. Many people actually work for college dropouts, even high school dropout, because they had the ability not to quit. They had the ability to be adaptable. They had the ability to persevere. And you know what? If you don't have that, I suggest you go find you an island. Find you a cave. Get you a couple of sticks. Get you a spear or a bow and arrow, stuff like that. And try to live off the land where you don't have to have any responsibility, and where you don't have to worry about anybody criticizing you. But even if you're on that island by yourself, your butt better get up and hunt something, or you're not going to eat. Your butt better build a shelter, or the elements are going to kill you. You better have a way to defend yourself, so the animals or even other people are going to overtake you. Life ain't fair. Don't expect it to be. Quit with this saying in your mind, and this expectation that this is supposed to be it's not supposed to be like this, or because I put in the work. Okay, great. Still keep putting in the work, but look at it. If that doesn't necessarily work the way you want to, put your work. Still put in the work, but do it in another way. Do it evaluate what you did. Evaluate what you did right, and be able to apply focused pressure until you get the breakthrough that you want. Maybe just because that company let you go, or that company went out of business, does not mean you can't start your own. Does not mean you can't go through to another one that will vastly work out for you. You have to understand that. If you don't understand that, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be disappointed, and you're going to be angry, because deep down inside, you're going to be sweltering, and you're going to start being petty and jealous and envious of other people. You're actually going to think that other people have some magic luck that you don't possess, or they're lucky, or they're better connected to you. And sometimes that is true, but you don't live for other people, you live for yourself. And their success is not your success. Their mission is not necessarily your mission. You have got to persevere until you get what you want. Now, one of the things to really help you, that when we say that life is not fair, don't expect it to be, you got to have a written goal, man. You got to, I like what Bob Proctor would say. Bob Proctor, says, you got to know exactly what you want, and then he even advocates carrying a card, on your person, and he looks at that card often, and keeps that goal galvanized in. When you're looking at the goals, a lot of times the setbacks and the issues and the problems, that really doesn't matter, because you know where you're going. Hey, you know what? I think I want to go ahead and get that card and start writing my goals out, instead of putting it in my cell phone, where it is right now. I actually want to get back to that physical card where I can pop it out of my wallet, where I can look at it in my own handwriting, and I can keep that in front of me. Now, because I have learned these things, and because I'm still learning from it, you know what? I don't get upset much like I used to. If a project doesn't work out, if a relationship doesn't work out, if a bid doesn't work out, if a job hours doesn't is not what it's supposed to be, or they're cut, or if I'm cut for this particular thing, okay, I know life is not fair. I know life is not fair. I know that, and I'm not really expecting life to be fair, but I am expecting to win. I am expecting to win. I am expecting to live my best life, and that best life is contingent upon my ability, on my desire. Fitzgerald Stevens, not anyone else's. Fortunately for me, I don't know where I got it from, but I'm kind of out the business of comparing myself. I happen to know quite a few successful individuals. Many of them I call, some of them, should I say, I actually call friends. And I'm great. I'm glad for their success. I mean, I'm glad, as far as what they have accomplished. But you know what? That's theirs. If I focus on that so much, I won't get out there and do anything my own self. As a matter of fact, it'd make me think that they have some magic that just all of a sudden gets them going, and I'm not going. Now that's kind of hard to take sometime, and sometimes it can be easy to take sometimes. Let me tell you how it can be easy, because you give up on what you want to do. You give up putting in the work, you give up trying, you give up discipline, you give up being hungry. You give up. And what do I mean hungry? You got to have a burning desire to go after what you want. In order to go after what you want, you got to know exactly what you want with time limits. And so let's just take some individuals can come from the same town and same impoverished situation, the same Main Street America, yet one thrives and the other one doesn't. Why is that? They went to the same school, had the same teachers. What makes one different than the other one? Could it be written goals? Could it be a sense of destiny, a sense of purpose? Could it be a sense that I was put here from more than just what I'm living? And I'm not going to quit till I give it. Could it be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to make sure my parents have a good living. I'm going to make sure my children will not have to go through a couple things, the things that I went through, unnecessary, ridiculous things. And so that's what's driving me. And so if I come through the disappointments, if I come through the detours in life, hey, you know what? That's just a setback. But I'm going to keep driving. I'm going to keep moving. I liken it to the first time someone tries to ride a bike, or better yet, the first time, for those of you who are blessed to be parents, who had the privilege of watching your child take the first steps, or helping your child take the first steps. Now, when that child took the first steps, did they just get up there and just walk like you and I are walking right now, or did they fall a couple of times? Okay, more likely they fell a couple of times. Did you let them stay there? Did you say that's okay? You don't have to do it. Hey man, you can just go ahead and stay in your stroller. Little Lola, Arthur, just go ahead and stay in your stroller, man, and kick your feet. The stroller got 4 wheels. You can move on, and in this, man, you can be comfortable and you can be secure. You don't have to worry about falling and bumping your knees and everything, and falling down and looking like you're embarrassed. You don't have to worry about that. Just stay in there. Don't even worry about trying. What normal, right thinking parent would do that stuff? And so if you understand that, which I know you do, then if you become adult and you try and life throws you a detour and you fail, why just lay there? Why not get back up and try again until you get proficiency in this? Why not get back and try again? I had the privilege of watching a friend of mine trying to teach a young man how to ride a bike. The youngster was like 14, 15 years old, didn't want to ride a bike. And all of a sudden he decided to do that. and he was a little timid at first, and you know, but he went out and tried. So my friend used something called a towel method. He wraps a towel around his waist, hold it with both hands, have him pedal, and the purpose that towel is to stabilize him. And you know, and I watched that little teenager, look have a look of dread and maybe even nervousness because he was doing something for the first time. And so when he actually would stop, I would give him some tips. I said, son, the way your neck goes, the way the direction of your head turns, that's the way your body is going to go. You know, think of your head as like nothing but a horse's bridle, and that's where you go. You have a tendency to look down at the ground, whether you're looking left or right, and that's where you're leaning to, and pretty soon you're going to crash. You don't have to worry. When you walk up the steps, do you look at your feet to see if you're hitting the right steps? You know, your lower portion is going to take care of the pedaling. You need to keep your balance by looking up, keep and maintaining control, and watching where you're going, because that's the direction you're going to go. Well, he keeps trying, and pretty soon he's going to be very, very efficient rider, because you know what? As long as he doesn't give up, as long as he sometimes expects to fall, even though he may not like it. You know, that's why I gave him some knee pads yesterday, because I'm expecting to fall. That's why I get, you know, well, that's why I said, hey, take these knee pads. But, you know, I expect you to know how to ride that bike. I expect you to keep trying. That's what it is. And so who are we to give up on ourselves? Who are we to think, okay, just because life is a so-called fair, who are we to quit? Who are we to give up on the life that we could have, and the life that we want to create ourselves by just us getting out there and fighting for what we want? You know, do you know, ladies and gentlemen, there are people who are actually dependent upon you and to fulfill your goal, because your goal is going to create an incredible life for them. You know that? I'm going to use it in the context of your children, for once again, for those of you who are blessed to have them. You know, or or your students, or whatever group is looking at you for direction. You know what? People are waiting for you. Some of you guys out there under the sound of my voice, man, you're called to build wealth. You're called to build orphanages. You're called to develop scholarships. You're called to give away houses. You're called to bring clean waters to areas doesn't have it. You're called to open up schools. It takes money to do that, and you're called for service. And you know, and God can easily put that wealth in your hand. And for those of you who are really dedicated to that, and dedicated according to his purpose, and looking to expand his kingdom and do right with people, I'm not surprised if he puts it in your hands. I certainly have believed that about myself for years. No, so it doesn't make a difference if it doesn't come on my time schedule, or if I got to get out there and do something that I don't want to do, or if the road is taken away, or taking a detour that's causing me to have to develop another skill to accomplish that goal. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to do. Remember, again, when you're in this world, no matter where you are in this world, they have but one question for you. Do you have the money, or do you not? Do you have the money to pay for a good education, or do you not? Do you have the hunger and the fight in you to go through and get this brass ring, or do you not? Do you have the proper money to have a good legal services, or do you not? Do you have the money to get out of jail and make bond, or do you not? Do you have the money to buy the food, or do you not? Do you have the money to pay the mortgage? No, the money to pay your student loans, the money to live, or do you not? And that's what it comes to. And when you break it down like that, and you know, that will help give you a hunger. I've often said something, made this statement to people like, you know, Fitzgerald, you're driven, and you man, you just got this fighting spirit, and you never seem to give up. I think one of the greatest compliments I ever had in my life was by a boss of mine well over 20 years ago, when I used to work for him, and I was doing sales for him. He gave me a chance to really, start thriving in my sales career. He promoted me to marketing manager, and I went out there and I would go beat those streets, to bring business in them. And I was very, very successful because number one, I was bold and I didn't quit. And he said that to one of his customers. He said, that about Fitzgerald, he doesn't quit. He just gets out there. I couldn't do what he did. He goes out there and knocks on those office doors, get these clients. He doesn't quit. Man, that meant something to me. That meant something to me. That someone was seeing the recognition, and someone was giving me the recognition for doing a good job. But I wasn't doing it really. My not quitting was not my motivation. My motivation was earn enough money that I could take care of my house, that I could take care of my family. That was my motivation. I used to I have very good attendance at work. Not that I'm trying to rent some star, because you know what? I knew if I miss work, it's going to hurt my paycheck. So I'm money motivated. When I'm in business, I'm money motivated. I have a certain benchmark of capital I want to get. Yeah, I'm interested in serving. Yeah, I'm interested in doing a good job, but I'm money motivated. Most of you great salespeople are. Most of your great business people are. Now, some of them, and many of them, take it upon themselves to make as much money as they can, because they figure the more money they have, the more things causes they can work for that are important to them. Then you get some people they don't seem to care about money. As far as within business, they just want to put a good product together. But let me tell you, once the sales start slipping, they'll care about money then. So I believe in being money motivated when you're working in business, when you're trying to build something, because money is nothing but a tool. It really is. It just simply amplifies you for what you really are. Let me tell you something. If you a fool without money, you're going to be a bigger fool with money. If you're a moral person without money, you're going to be a bigger moral person with money. If you're an immoral person, without money, you're going to be a bigger immoral person with money. That's all it is. Money is nothing but an amplifier. But on God's earth, you need it. Maybe not necessarily in this heaven. And I don't think you do need money in this heaven, but I know you need money on this earth. So these are ways of keeping score. How do you keep score? What motivates you? What motivates you? And I'll use a story that's takes a little bit different trajectories, but it's probably going to make the point even more potent than what I'm saying right now. For those of you who say, well, money's not everything. It's not everything. You can do by it, and you can get by with it, and in true, certain instances, certain cases, few cases, you can, provided someone else paid the price for you to do it. Now, let's just suppose your daughter comes to you, or your little boy comes to you, and they say, "Daddy, I'm hungry. I'm hungry." And you say, okay, let me tell you something. Have you looked at the television yet, little Lily? No, little Mark, have you looked at television? And all those children are going to bed hungry. All those people who barely have anything to eat. Of course you're not going to say that to them, because that's your child coming to you and saying, "Daddy, I'm hungry." That's going to motivate you to get that child something to eat. It don't make a difference. You got to go work 12 hours a day. It don't make a difference. You got to sell cans on the street. It doesn't make a difference if you got to hold a sign up there and say, "We'll work for food," because the demand was made. Your daughter is hungry. She asked you, and she said to you, "I'm hungry." She didn't say go out there to work. She did not say one time, say, "Daddy, go ahead and get your goals together. Go ahead and do this." She just made a request, and that motivates you. Sometimes we often quit and we lay there and we accept defeat because we don't got a big enough why. We don't got a big enough reason to get up there and keep going. What's your why? And I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have a big enough reason or big enough why, you're going to quit at the first sign of distress. You're going to sit up there and complain. You're going to sit up there and murmur. You're going to sit up there and do all kinds of stuff. You're going to waste your time because you don't get about a big enough why. You don't got something to really, really move you. You expect life to be fair. But if you got a big enough reason to move you, whether you want a better quality of life for yourself, a better quality of life for your family, for those of you who are blessed to have one, you know, your own family, you know, and if you want that, that's going to move you, man. That's going to move you. And that's what you have to understand. You have to be in motion. If a wall comes up right here, figure out a way to get around it, figure out a way to get through it, figure out a way to get over it, or figure out a way to get under it. But understand that wall does not mean your end of you. That wall should be that you're saying to that wall should be, you will not get in my way, because this is on the other side of that. I got to get past you. And I got to get past you in order to go to my goal. Now, here's one thing that screws a lot of people up. When they get over a wall or obstacle, when they overcome a challenge, sometimes they like to rest too soon. You know, they don't think another wall is going to come up, but it will. Just because you solve this issue don't mean something else, man. You're going to have challenges, plural, on the way to your goal, on the way to where you're trying to go to. Expect it. You know, get a tough exterior, get a tough interior. Don't worry about what people think so much about you. Who gives a rip? You know, what do you think about yourself? You know, what do you think that I was meeting with a mentor of mine, you know, my martial arts teacher. And he said, well, wow, Fitzgerald, you know, you really can sell, and you know, you're really good with people. I said, do you know I get nervous when I talk to people? You know, I get nervous sometimes when I get ready to make my YouTube channels or I get ready to engage people. I get the butterflies just like anyone else, but it's quite simple to me. I like staying in a warm home. I like eating food. I know I need gas for my vehicle. I like having lights on. You know, I like to be able to take a vacation or two. You know, I like to have a safe, secure environment. You know, and so how dare I let fear stop me from survival and thriving? So it comes quite simple to me. You know, so I have to force myself to do the things I don't want to do in order to get the things I need to have in order to live the life I want to live. And so your biggest accomplishments and your greatest accomplishments are right on the other side of your fear, or right on the other side of your perseverance. That's why you got to keep going. If you can't go for you, you know, find someone you can go for. Is it elderly parents? Is it your children? Is it your family? Is it a loyal, dedicated spouse, you know, who's helping you build? Is it employees who depend upon you for their paycheck? How dare you talk about quitting? How dare you talk about laying down? How dare you expect life to be fair? You better understand this. You better persevere, and you better be about the business of winning. You better be about the business of finding ways to win. That better be your mindset, because you know what's the alternative? You say I want to quit. Okay, quit. Quit to what? What are you going to quit to? You know, what are you going to quit to? You know, do you have like 1,000 Bitcoins, or, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 Ethereum coins, or do you have a crypto stash, or do you have massive amounts of real estate, you know, on Park Avenue, or, you know, in Rodeo Drive? Do you have that? Do you have a thing that allows you that you could just take the pace off? Do you have a thing that you could just take the pace off and you could just live in mediocrity? Can you do that without resources? Understand, the resources are after the grind. Oh, and by the way, if you want to keep doing resources, you got to still grind. My father taught me that anyone can get something. Anyone's son can get something. Can you keep it? Can you hold it? That's the mark of a man. That's the mark of a winner. And so on that note, hey, I'm going to let you guys go. You know, just something to think about and really, really ponder. I recommend you listen to my videos probably about at least twice, because sometimes, you know, you got to hear things about, you know, more than once for it to really sink in your spirit. But everything I'm sitting up here telling you, you know, I lived. I know it works, and I know what it takes to win. I know what it takes to keep fighting. I know what it takes that you don't want to fight and you just want to rest. But if you have placed yourself in position, if you have placed yourself in a mental mindset of man, you're going to always be fighting. You can only rest, when you put so much space between you and you and your problems or your challenge. They don't even matter anymore. No. So get busy about the business of living. Get busy about finding ways to win for you, for others, for yourself, for your faith. Get busy with it because the clock is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. The clock is ticking. Treat life serious because it is. It is no game. We get one time. This moment that we have, this day that we have right now, we'll never see again. Let's get out there and get it. Let's get out there and be about it. Let's be out there to be the ones who inspire ourselves first, and then we can inspire others by our habits, by our action, by our breakthrough. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, hit that like, subscribe button, share this channel, the stream with others. We appreciate it. Until next time, this is Fitzgerald Stevens of Finding Ways to Win. We appreciate you so much. Have a great, great evening.